All right. It is Fired Up Friday, but we are unexpectedly crossing
It's Winning
this...
Women's Wednesday.
Yes.
On a Friday.
On a Friday.
So we are unexpectedly crossing the streams.
Ooh.
So, well, we've developed this protocol now where Wayne tells me he's not going to be in town on the days that he's in town. And so then we plan accordingly. And so now we have...
And then sometimes he changes his plans and doesn't let anyone know.
Yes.
Which is shocking to anybody that really knows me.
Yeah, and so like so anybody out there that is in is under his tutelage now, you have this as hard evidence where not everything always goes as planned.
True.
But the trick is to be able to pivot,
And we have pivoted.
improvise.
I wanted to be on Winning Women's Wednesday, and I was like,
You got to
here's
say
a-
it right first.
Well said.
What is it? What?
no,
yeah,
you had it.
yeah.
You had it.
I did?
Women's
Yes.
Wednesday.
Winning Women's Wednesday.
Yeah, and I was like, I'm getting on that show no matter what. So I
You manifested.
I figured a way.
You manifested.
Hey, well, I am fired up
There you go.
to be on the
Yes,
show.
the
We got this.
crossover is complete. So, in order to like have all of this, is jambalaya? Here, I'll show my food ignorance. Isn't jambalaya like mixed ingredient? I don't even know.
Like
what.
gumbo, jambalaya. Yep.
But it's probably the
absolutely.
same thing every time, and this is not. So, pardon me while I massacre all of my culinary references. But we've got my man Wayne,
Good to see you.
my usual shotgun riding co-host, co-captain on Fridays, who is, and now we are crossing over with my other co-captain from Wednesdays.
Good morning, good morning.
Our Wednesday co-captain has brought a special guest.
Yes, the
So special.
amazing special guest. At least I think he's amazing. My sweet husband, Alan Simonton, has agreed to be under the fire today.
I agreed.
Were you voluntold? Or
He was
did you agree?
voluntold.
Okay.
Yeah.
She said she walked in and she goes, "Hey, what do you think about being on the show?"
There you go.
And
There you
I
go.
said, no. I am part of the support team. I am, marketing and things like that for you. But man, I don't want
Here we go.
to have to show off and
He's very shy.
everybody love me more than they love you. So
Okay.
I just don't want to do that.
Okay.
But
so,
hi.
Greetings, welcome. So we've had like at least 17 seconds of show prep before we went
Yeah.
live. Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Well,
Perfect.
we're
so
good at what we do.
So we have agreed upon we're going to ask the Oracle for. Let's just find out here. Let's see how it goes.
What is the Oracle?
ChatGPT 4, $20 a month.
Nice.
Best money ever. And by the way, if you want to get really good at ChatGPT, well, I should just share this with everybody. One of my clients, Larry Halls, has built how to like an amazing way to like create your own like the custom instructions you
Oh,
put in
yes,
there.
yes.
But the way he has it dialed, I'll send you. It's amazing. So anyway, if anybody wants that, it's awesome. Larry Halls, shout out. He is the king.
Right on. Well, I'm going to remain blissfully ignorant on all of those things. I will probably do that
beautiful.
off camera, but so here we're going to do regenerate previous, shifting topic to burnout and being overwhelmed
Fatigue.
and fatigue.
Wow. It's all things that are.
Yes.
Very relevant
So
right now.
yeah, so nobody actually ever experiences that. So
No.
this thing probably won't even work to draw on any kind of background.
Well, if it doesn't, we can just start telling
If it
war
doesn't,
stories.
Yes.
the AI will tell you how.
So the famous quote is, "Wow, I think we might have discovered a wrinkle in GPT. Your work is going to fill a large part of your life, and the only way to be truly satisfied is to do what you believe is great work, and the only way to do great work is to love what you do." And that was from Steve Jobs. Oh, but like, what did he ever do?
Yeah.
However, it says, identify signs of burnout you may be experiencing, such as irritability, reduced productivity, choose a stressor in your life and your current routine, and brainstorm ways to mitigate. I think we're on it.
I love it.
This approach aims to promote a healthier work-life balance and maintain your long-term productivity and motivation.
My favorite coaching topic.
Right. Oh, look at that. All right.
Work-life balance.
Yes.
Love it.
Which I have none.
We've been talking a lot about that this week on
have
Ignite
been.
U90 Business Coaching
We
on our
have.
social platforms.
So for you guys, what do you see? I see a lot of agents right now that are like fatigued and they're burned out, and all of that. What are you seeing in a lot of the agents out there right now?
Exactly that. Just exhaustion. Burnout in the
Even
form.
experiencing it yourself.
Even experiencing myself, because I'm still running a real estate side for my personal business. And yeah, it's just exhausting. Like you do all the things and you do all the things and there's so many obstacles coming up.
Yeah.
And it's like, you get past one thing and it's time for something else. And you want to provide good service. So you set yourself up to be on at all times, totally against everything I teach in work-life balance. But I have been a horrible, horrible student this week. Horrible.
It's called balance for a reason.
Teetering. And yeah, just wanting to be a great agent and provide great service for our clients. And something keeps coming up, and a transaction, an opportunity to work with a client that used to take 30 days is now taking 60 days.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think that's the biggest issue is everything's taking longer, and it's affecting us physically and emotionally and mentally even more so because of that.
I was going to kind of expand on that, and I think that
Because he's had to live it this week.
well, I get to observe it more than
Yeah, what
be
does
in
that
it.
look like from the bleachers when,
Yeah,
when you're
so-
seeing that?
So even from my experience as a realtor over the last, almost 10 years, I believe that this burnout in spring, it's the seasonal, comes from the potential lack of preparation in Q4 than the year before. So if you're not preparing in those last 3 months of the year before for your first quarter, potentially second quarter, then
That's
you're
good.
going to feel that stress and burnout. And that's just, that goes up and down just like the business. It's seasonal. And I think that once we get through May into summer, that's when we see people sort of relax as far as realtors. And then they're pushing and hustling, trying to get, sales to pay for Christmas presents.
So then so to your point, are you saying that the burnout is a result of not having the clients, or is it a result of the transactions themselves?
I don't think it's it could potentially be the transactions because, physically, mentally, with new changes in the systems and things like that, that is definitely going to wear you down trying to figure out how to navigate those. But experienced realtors, I think, even experience burnout, obviously, but I think that they can mitigate it and minimize it because they have learned to delegate. They understand their value within their sphere of influence, and those things help propel to success and to, I believe that work-life balance is a bit of a myth.
Agreed.
I look at it like
Agreed.
work-life management.
Well, and here's the interesting thing about
yes.
burnout is like people are like, I'm burned out, I'm burned out, I'm burned out. But here, and I think this kind of goes back to your point. How many times I think we buy into it's about the hours we're working, and I don't think that's necessarily true.
Right.
But
No,
I
it's
think
not
that it's a lot about our perception, and like you said right now, they're doing quote unquote more work and the results are lower, and that's leading to some of that burnout. But I think it's just interesting. Like, I need a vacation, I need this, and I think going underneath, I'm stressed out and burned out. Like it's such a vague like big thing, and people buy into it instead of figuring out what's actually going on. Right, so it's just like, oh, I'm burned out, and like that's the end of the conversation. I'm just burned out, which means I'm just gonna feel like crap for a while until maybe I sleep for 5 days or something. Like it's so vague, but it's like that's the end of the sentence, and that breaks my heart.
Yeah.
I love the statement dollar productive activities. So are you cleaning your office, or are you reaching out to clients or potential clients, or learning or whatever that is?
And are you doing things you don't enjoy? I'm a big believer in that. Let's look at what the goal is, how we're going to get to that goal. And wait, have you put in your action steps?
It's like, hey, I want to do 8 transactions this year. Well, I have 0 so far, so what am I going to do?
Are you putting into your action steps things you know you're not going to do? So every time you open up the calendar and it's time to do this between 9 and 11 on a Tuesday,
Let's move it to the next day.
let's move it to the next day. And that creates stress and burnout because you know you're not going to do that. So find something you will do that will generate leads or generate whatever it is you're needing.
So for the ones that are out there on an island that don't even know that they do this, because as the the affiliated business guy or whatever, I'll see it yearly. It is this cyclical thing where somewhere around Halloween-ish, everybody just like, whoop, we flip the sign on the door, we're
Yep.
closed.
Yes.
And we don't do jack for the
Yes.
rest of the year.
We're just partying and celebrating. Yes.
Or,
yes.
yeah, it
Lots of
becomes,
parties.
yeah, lots of office parties, lots
Yes.
of, you know.
Or giving up on our goal and saying we'll start again in January. This year sucked.
Because
And you're
yes.
like,
Yeah.
it's October 10th. What do you mean this year sucked? Like that's like we're not done, bro. Like you know
Right.
what they do? They're like, well, this year, whatever, I'll start next year. And it's like we got 45, 60 days, 70. Like what
Yes,
are you doing?
90
It's
days.
crazy.
And I
Sometimes.
can be busiest in the fourth quarter. I have found that either November or December tends to be a summer-like month for me every year. And it's because I don't stop.
There you go. And how much of that do you think is just the fact that it's routine, where it's like, if I don't stop and if I don't plan on, you know, taking from Halloween to Valentine's Day off,
Valentine's.
you know,
That would be bad.
Yes.
news.
because that's, you know, from
For sure.
from this side,
That's a
of-
part-time realtor.
Yeah, but from the marketing side, in general, there tends to be this seasonal, yes, but it's like this give up where we flip the sign on the front door, you know, on the door, and then we go away, and then in January is ate up with like, oh, dude, now we're gonna do our business planning,
Goal
thing.
setting.
Yeah, goal setting.
Yes.
Yeah, vision
No,
board.
that should be
yeah.
done in November,
October.
October.
So, like now, for your folks that you know you're teaching consistency, because I love having the coaches here, where it's how do you get them? Because I would think there has to be that amount of awareness, like
Dude, it's about intentional reflection, right? Like, and I think that's
yes.
the big thing. People are like,
Yes.
like I remember I was talking to one of my doctor clients, and well, we were talking about this weekend. And said, you know, and somehow it came up because like I hate every Tuesday, and like we're talking, it's like
Oddly
turns out he'd been
specific.
hating every Tuesday for like a long time. And the thing was like, you're the doctor, it's your practice. Change Tuesdays. Like you don't need to, like kind of to your point, like you don't need to perpetually hate Tuesdays. Like what if you just
Fix
did it?
it.
He's like, oh my goodness, like I could do this different, right? But like I think we get stuck with it's people are like, oh man, there was a weekend and it really threw off my plans for this month. It's like July 4th. They're like, yeah, I just didn't see it coming. And you're like, July 4th. Like
yeah.
the name's in
200
the
yeah,
thing, right?
200
Like,
plus
I didn't
years.
see it coming. It came out of nowhere, right?
And you're still dealing with it in
yes,
August.
Yes. But like if every December sucks, like the first time, cool. Second time, what the heck? Third time, like, you know, so
do
it's
you
like,
do? Yeah.
figure this out. If you want to take December off, cool. What do I need to do to earn
Yes.
the
so
right
good.
to take December
There we
off?
go.
Right?
Yes.
Like, and I think it's like right now, there's so much burnout, and I think it's because people, they're doing too much, meaning you need to, it's going to take longer with clients. It's going to take longer with your transactions. You got to go slower. So instead of just trying to do everything, because we had some time where we could do everything, right? Money was coming in, and we could start the
We could do
this and the
nothing,
that and the
and
other.
money
We
was
could do all
coming
this,
in.
whatever. You know, we could wing it, and it was okay. But now it's not okay. So you need to go back to the drawing board and go like, I need to get rid of all this extra. Some of the people just have dopamine overload, right? They're just going, listen to 17 different things and all over the place. It's like
And
you
doing
need to-
all those things,
You need to
right?
do less better.
Yes.
Right? And it's the fatigue
good.
of like going, doing 100 things half-assed instead of going like, do a deep reflection. Here's the two things that really matter in my business, and I'm going to go deep in those. It's not that you're working too many hours; it's that the hours you're working are BS and they're all over the place.
yes,
Yes.
And
Yes,
I
yes,
found
yes.
that it's the. I don't know if it's human nature or if it's just basically baked into this particular industry, but there is the confusion at times of being busy with confusing that with getting stuff done.
Yes. Was your busyness accomplishing anything? And I do that. I have to do that for myself. Is I will
Absolutely.
look at the end of a quarter and I go back and I look at all the things I did. Did I enjoy them? Great. Did I enjoy them enough to keep doing them?
Yes.
And did they accomplish anything? And if they didn't and I enjoyed them, that's okay. We can leave those in. But if I'm going to a networking event over and over and over again, I come home exhausted and it hasn't accomplished anything,
Why are
that's
you going?
out.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
and I
Change it
make
up.
that decision quickly.
Am I good at
Yeah.
it? Do I enjoy it? And is it in alignment with my goals?
Absolutely.
I've
And
been-
not everything's
yeah.
enjoyable. Like we got to do hard stuff sometimes. But if
Yes.
every Tuesday sucks and it's been a year, like we need to change Tuesday. Like that's not
Fix it.
okay.
Every
Yeah,
other
dude.
Tuesday could suck, but
There,
not
there you go.
every.
Yeah, one a month. I'm good with that. Yeah.
I've been kind of over the last week or so, just kind of tumbling this thought around that people have a hard time doing a true self-reflection
Yep.
and actually seeing
Yes.
they're like, yeah, I did all of this stuff. Well,
Yes.
write down the stuff that you did And did it lead to a transaction? Did it lead
Yeah.
to a connection? Did it lead to making money?
Yes.
And
that
just
intentional
not,
reflection, I love that. Like the calendar thing,
Yes, just
go back through
self-reflection.
3 days and just like,
Yeah.
yes, no, like, yes.
Quit
Yep.
comparing yourself. I used to do this.
Oh,
I would
geez,
look
yeah.
up other realtors and see their sales
Yeah.
in the area.
Don't do that.
She, in
Yeah.
fact,
Don't
there's a
do
couple
that.
things
No,
she
don't
taught
do
me.
that.
Was like, do the things that are going to make us money. Oh,
Yeah.
okay, all right.
Please.
We got kids that's into college. Let's do it. And also that last piece that I said.
Yeah. But we do the Sunday night review, and I will be the first to admit I do not always do the Sunday night review. But the Sunday night review is, and I call it 30 minutes to save you 10 hours. But it's Sunday night, sit down and do the stuff we're talking
my
about, right?
favorite
Like
thing.
what
That's a
was
great
good last week, what wasn't good last week? Does my schedule this upcoming week match my goals? Right? Where am I? Like, and you sit down and you shut up for half an hour. And I think that's one of the things. It's so our mind is running, and we've self-created this anxiety. When was the last time you sat down for 5 minutes and didn't do anything? Like, just sat down in peace for 5 minutes.
silence.
In silence, right? Like, never, right? It's TikTok. It's this. It's
Are
this.
you
it's
mad?
This. Like we're self-inducing this mega level
wrong
of
with you?
anxiety, and it's not working for us. It's like, well, stop doing that. People are like, man, I'm so burned out. I'm so whatever. And like, there was a TikTok video last week that I saw, and people were like, I'm so exhausted. I'm so burned out. It's like, okay, man, wow, all right. So like, are you sleeping? And they're like, not really. It's like, okay. Are you going for a walk every day? No, I'm not doing that. No. All right. Are you eating good? Nope. Okay. Are you drinking water? Not really. Right. Are you listening to anything good? Good for your head? Nope. I'm not doing that. It's like, man, I don't know why you feel like crap. That's weird.
So strange.
So weird.
don't you
You're
just
doing
keep
all
doing
these
what you're
terrible
doing?
things.
Yeah.
And you feel like crap.
It's like, wow, you don't do anything remotely healthy, yet you feel
Yeah,
unhealthy.
it's a mystery. I don't know why
weird.
you feel like
So
crap,
weird.
right? Like, yeah.
And that's where scheduling comes into play.
Yes.
Because if you're going to be in a season where you're burning the candle at both ends, and sometimes you have to, sometimes that's just the
Absolutely.
way it works. Plan your schedule accordingly. And
Yes.
in that schedule, I'm going to work out. I'm going to take my walks. I'm going to spend time with my kids. I know that I have to be at this event on this day. I'm not going to schedule myself so tight that I end up being late there
Yes.
and don't get the prom pictures on time like I was supposed to. But that's my life, not y'all's.
And it's like, if you're
Oh, we
always
were late and we got in trouble.
We got in
Right, but
trouble.
like if you're always late, like take a beat and figure out what's
What's
stop-
causing that.
And I think in coaching, one of the things we talk about a lot is like stop blaming the person, start blaming the process. Okay,
Yeah.
if I'm always late, it's something about the process that's making this happen. If I'm always tired Tuesday morning, maybe I need to look at the process of Monday, right? So that self-reflection and like having somebody guide you through it is really helpful too. Sometimes it's hard to do
Yes.
on your own.
Well, because with self-reflection, there's no one to sit there and say, "Oh, you're being too hard on yourself."
Yeah.
If I'm coaching someone and they're really beating themselves
And that's what
up,
I'm saying, the benefit of having a coach. And I'm going to tell
Absolutely.
the
Yeah.
story here in just a sec.
because I will give you some encouragement
Yeah.
so that you don't feel so bad about yourself. On the total self-reflection, it's brutal.
Oh my gosh,
It's
yeah.
brutal. So
Yeah, I highly recommend a business coach, not just because I'm partial to these guys, but
I actually don't coach him. He has
well,
another coach.
I went through 8 years of business coaching
Yeah.
with a company, and I loved it, except for they were honest, and I didn't like it. So my coach, early on, he had me, all right, give me your listing presentation. And so I started going into this presentation, and he stopped me, and he goes, you know what? You sound like you have no idea what you're talking about.
Ouch.
And I said, yeah, I agree.
Googling as we go. Yeah.
And so that was stressful for me and trying to figure that out. But then I studied. I got better and better and better.
Yeah.
And coaching helped me a ton because there was that accountability every 2 weeks. I'm going to have to tell my coach, well, I didn't do any of the things that you told me
None
to
of
do.
them.
Yep.
He's like, okay, well, I'm still getting paid, you know.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and there is that tendency to, at least I know personally for me, where it's like, I always wanted plausible deniability. I didn't want accountability. I just wanted to be like, oh, I don't know, that doesn't seem like that. You know, I wanted that Bill Clinton-esque
So
kind of.
here's what's interesting about what you're saying right now. This is huge. I hear so many agents right now, they're saying, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I can't figure it out. This is too complicated, right? I just don't know. Blah, blah. I don't know. Or like, I should. And like, here's what's interesting. When you really start working with them, they have an idea.
They know.
Right? Like they might not know the exact path, but it's like they have a pretty freaking good idea.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
talk to more people, ask questions. If you're totally lost, do 30 open houses in 30 days. If you're totally lost, call 20 people a day, do 20 direct messages, and send
even
20
just
notes.
5 calls.
Right, 5. Start with 5.
I mean, something.
Yeah.
One.
Right, like
One.
But,
Yeah.
But here's the thing: our mind, our brain is working to remove pain in a sense, right? So it's like if it's really complicated and I don't know what to do, I'm justified in not doing
dopamine.
it.
Yeah.
It's not my fault. I don't know what to do. This market's crazy. It's really good. So it's like we're
I've
our
done all
brain
the
is
things.
yes, is making it so complicated that it's almost impossible to take action on. So most people that are burned out and frustrated right now, to your point, go back and get really simple. 5 calls a day. Like 5 minutes a walk, 5 calls a day. Like just start there if you need to.
I love that you said that they're saying, I don't know what to do. I am not a fan of the words "I don't know what to do."
Yeah.
Now, I don't know, but followed up with "I'm going to find out,"
Right.
Or I'll figure
I
it out.
think they're scared
or
to find
that's-
out because
that's what I think. Because once you
That's
say
what it
you
is.
don't know, that client's shut off. They're
Yeah.
like, you know
Yeah.
what? They don't
Yeah.
know. I'm going to find somebody.
Or
who
if
knows.
it's a talent that God just didn't give me. I'm just not good at getting.
Yes.
I'm just not good at following a schedule. It's like, well, who is?
Right.
Yeah,
Like,
nobody
that's not-
likes it.
military guys,
It's not a talent.
teachers.
Under duress.
And it's not a talent; it's a skill. Even the military
Yeah.
guys, like they learned that, they were ingrained that stuff. And I think some people be like, "I'm just not good at calling. I'm just not good at what." It's like, who is? Make 500 calls and
Get a
get
script.
good. Like
Yeah.
it's
Yes.
a talent you need to go. I mean, it's a skill you need to go build, not an innate talent you either got or didn't get.
Or let's look at what
yeah.
you are good at and enjoy and do more
yeah,
of that.
there you go. Yeah.
So don't say, I'm only supposed to do 10 calls, but I'm not doing any of them, so I'm only going to do 2 open houses.
Yeah.
No, do 30 open houses if you're not going to
Absolutely.
make any
That's your
calls.
thing. Go do it.
Let's
Yep.
figure it out.
Yep.
And don't do all of the things, right?
No.
Just if you get good at
We all
writing note
know.
cards, like
Yes.
don't try to come up with the script necessarily in the beginning. There's so many, ChatGPT. There's
Yeah.
that you Google prompt or Google,
Yes.
thank you notes and just write that down and make it a little more sincere. Or,
Oh, it's like it
use
all
tool.
work-
I love tools.
It
but
all
stick with
works. And I remember I had a coach that called me on this years ago because he challenged me to take 10 listings a month for the next 6 months. Any month I came short, I owed him $1,000.
Ouch.
Okay, now I was struggling
That's
to
a
take.
good one.
I was struggling to take a listing a month, and I didn't have $1,000, y'all. Like this is like day one. I had like the nasty hair. I had gauges. Like I looked like I was a roadie
saw
for a
those-
band.
I saw
it
those
was not
gauges
pretty.
on
like,
Instagram the
I
other
showed up
day.
at your house, and you're like. Oh, what? Who? Like, are you here to like clean the gutters? I'm like, no, I'm your agent. You know what I mean? They're like,
Sorry,
"Huh."
we don't. Sir,
No,
we
no,
don't
you're
want any
not.
what you're
Yeah,
selling.
yeah, whatever you got, we don't want, including diseases. I think I'm not sure what's happening. Right,
Family-friendly show.
it was a
Family-friendly
disaster. And here's what he said. He's like, it all works if you work it. It all
Yeah.
works. Open houses work.
that sounds
Door knocking
familiar.
Yeah.
works. For sale by owners,
It works if you work it, bro.
Facebook ads, like it all works if you work it. Right, but the thing is, and I think there's so much FOMO, especially in our industry. It's like, oh, well, there's a shiny object here and a shiny object here and a this and a this and a this. There's no easy thing.
No.
There's not. There's not one thing that's just easy and,
Nope.
and right. It's all hard, right? But it's easy when you lean into it and you get good at it, right? So like pick the 1 or 2, and like you said, in alignment with who you are, in alignment with your schedule, go nail it.
And it,
But make a schedule.
so one of the things, like, it works if you work it, or what, to throw it into even the recovery world there, where it's like, well, it's hard until it's easy. It's
routine.
Yes, and it's like to ask yourself, what did you think hard would look like? It's like if everybody could be a badass, uber successful 1%er agent, salesperson, fill in the blank, whatever. Well, then it really wouldn't be that special.
Yeah.
And if you would sit back and go like, well, I bet it's hard to get to that level. What does hard look like? Hard does not look like, oh, I have this super special skill set that I was just born with. It just magically appears. And then the clouds part, the waves
Yes.
part, everything just lines up. It's like it
That glamour
never,
shot. Yeah.
It's
It all
like-
just shows up.
It's all the Rocky cut scene, dude. It's hitting the beef. It's like,
Yeah.
lifting the wood or what, and all of that stuff. And it's over and over and over. I saw this clip, my hustle porn feeds on Instagram and Facebook and everything. I see this thing where it was this gal giving like a TED talk or something. And she went through this long list of indicators of future success. And the one she goes, and then everybody's like, oh, IQ, background.
Sure.
And then she said like, well, you know what? It was none of those. And it was basically grit. Was
Grit.
Consistency
Yes.
and resilience.
Yes. And it was, I always likened it to be like, well, I could take ass whooping.
Right.
And like once I get in the mindset of, I'm going to get hit in the face, I'm going to get my ass kicked, but I'm actually good at that part.
Yeah.
Then, you know,
And I
like
can get past
You're like
it.
you're stronger than you think you are.
yes, and you don't know it until it happens.
And you're not. Yeah.
And then, like I tell my guys, it's like if you don't suck and you don't quit, you'll be fine. Because even now, I think this is probably whatever week this is now. Oh, we didn't look.
Yeah,
But, you know, we've already entered into the upper echelon of podcasting just because we didn't quit.
Right.
You know?
Absolutely.
You know, and like
I
this,
heard a stat on that. Like if you make it past so many episodes,
I think it's
you-
7.
Like
Did you
you've
say
done
upper
better.
This is the upper echelon.
You made
Yes.
it, babe.
Yeah.
Yes.
You are here.
Huh, I know.
How did you get in here?
I don't know how we
How did I get here?
Woo, I'm sweating.
But the idea of grit, and then, you know, to take it, you know, to another sort of illustrative thing where it's like there are no great heroes without the great monster or without the great difficulty. You know, the hero's journey isn't like, oh, he was born in a perfect situation, everything was awesome all the time.
So here's the question: what do you do on the tough days?
Ooh, good
Right,
one.
because I think that sounds nice, right?
Yes.
And it's like go, and we're all like, I just push through it. But like, I would love to know from each of you, like, what do you actually do on the day when you've actually
So-
got your teeth kicked in? You're laying there. It's like I'm on the floor. I don't know how to get back on my knee thing.
So I ascribe to the concept of evidence gives confidence.
Okay.
So the first time you do anything, you're going to suck.
Right.
Probably more than anybody that's ever sucked at anything. But if you're okay with that, then the trick is, okay, how do you get okay with that?
Right.
And then to be able to do all of the lather, rinse, repeat parts.
So, but for you, what do you tell yourself? What do you do? What's your rhythm? Like,
So
like let's say
at the very beginning,
What's the action step?
yeah. So at the very beginning, it sucked. It was learning to sit with discomfort.
So, but how did you do that? Like, who did you have a mantra in your head? Was the goal big enough? Did you have someone kicking your butt? Was it like the pain's bad enough to be?
just
like,
kept showing up.
What was the thing that
I
let
kept
you keep
showing up, and a lot of it has to do with everybody's individual background would be different, but I had that sort of chip on my shoulder, and I have this thing where resentment and spite and things they're great fuel.
Yeah.
But it burns bright and fast, but it doesn't last forever. And then where I go to the evidence brings confidence was, let's say, you know, out of 10 times of doing X, I got my ass whipped 3. Okay, well on the 4th time it wasn't so bad. 5th time was okay. 6 was pretty good.
So you're kind of collecting some of the wins along the way. Like,
Yeah,
like today
it's
sucked, but it wasn't as bad as
mile
5 days
markers.
ago.
Mile markers.
Yeah.
Yes.
I love
good.
that.
And
That's
to,
how you train for a marathon.
and
is
to,
you
to liken
put
it to
all in.
recovery, it's like, so I've been sober for almost 20 years. So, well,
Good job, buddy.
Congratulations.
No, it's awesome.
We love that.
It's
you know,
awesome.
don't drink and don't die. That's the secret there.
There you go.
But the trick there is, over enough time, I've gone through everything: death,
Yeah.
divorce,
Yeah.
layoffs, you know, all of that. Well, every time, the first time that happened, it was the end of the fucking world,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
But you have mentors, coaches,
yep.
and folks that kind of walk you through that. And then once you realize that none of it is fatal,
Right.
and it's the giving up that is fatal. Once you kind of can turn that corner, and I would love to say, oh, that happened quickly. Nope.
Nope.
Yeah.
It doesn't.
Something Michelle taught me was you have to mourn. It's a process of mourning
Yeah.
What you thought
that
it was.
what you
Yeah.
thought was going to
Yep.
happen,
Yep.
what actually happened.
Yeah.
And you can sit in that for a minute,
Yeah.
and then you have to flip it on its head and say, okay, what did I learn from this
Yep.
opportunity, and what are the intrusive thoughts that are coming in that are saying that I can't do this? Something my mom always said was can't, never could.
Yeah.
and I was like, all right, well, I'm gonna go do this thing then. So yeah.
For me, it's just a reset. So if I have a really bad day or something's really challenging, I'm kind of a workout junkie. I love to run. I love to go to the gym. But that's not necessarily going to clear my head if I've had a really bad day. So what does it for me is I'll go take...
It's me?
It's not you.
Oh, well, and
But you're real cute.
we're going to transition into couples therapy here in about 10 seconds. Hold on to your seats, folks.
For me, it's a 20-minute walk with no music. Like just because I live along the Katy Trail. And so it's just listen to the birds. Look at all the new dogs that have popped up that you haven't seen before.
Yeah.
Like just shutting everything
Yes.
out. And it doesn't matter.
Oh, look,
and
there's
just,
a tree.
Yeah,
You
there's
know?
a tree. And
Whoa.
because, normally when I do stuff like that, I've got the headphones on. I'm listening to a podcast. I'm getting the workout done.
Texting.
Yeah,
And
it's
this-
not
You're listening to
about
Fired
that.
Up Friday.
I'm
This-
listening to
which,
Fired
by
Up
the-
Friday.
By the way,
yeah.
we were late to our daughter's prom pictures because she was working on a real estate transaction.
Yeah,
by the
yeah.
way.
There.
So you know.
So here's what I hear you saying, and
I'm
I
very
want
balanced.
I want everybody to get this because I think this is so key in what you just said. You have a process to renew rather than numb.
Yes.
And most of us have ways of numbing.
Yes.
Right? Like anxiety gets up, pain gets up, whatever, and we numb. We scroll.
Yes.
We turn to alcohol. We turn to whatever it is, right? We turn to, and in essence, we're numbing. We're not doing something that actually renews.
Yes.
So going on a
Yes.
5-minute walk with your phone versus without your phone is a dramatically different experience.
Absolutely.
And if you're in it, you have to do things different. Like when you're having a really bad week, you don't need to watch the news. You don't need, like, you can't let the bad stuff in because you're already full. You know what I mean? So I think that there's things you can't do in this season that maybe you could do in another season, and like learning yourself and what is. And then I think back to your point, like I think so many agents right now need to, like, we're happy when life meets or exceeds our expectations.
For sure.
We're pissed off when life falls short of our expectations. So that's like when
middle.
When an agent thinks that, hey, it's going to be 30 days and it takes 90 days, they're ticked off. Right? But if you're a brand new agent and they say it can take 90 days and takes 30, you're thrilled.
Right.
You're like, I'm going to make money in 90 days. All
So
right.
for a lot of agents, though, right now it's like you got to reset. It's conversations have to be slower and longer. The skills that got you here aren't going to get you where you want to go. You better go
No.
skill up, right? It's not going to be the easiest, right? And doing those things, and the quote I love is like, you decided to just start, now decide to win, and you've got to reestablish.
That's
you just got to
good.
come up with your new. Here's
What
the
is your win?
And here's the new schedule. Here's the new layout for the weekend. And like, instead of like white knuckling it, like actually take a second, go for a walk, get a
Sometimes
piece
you
of paper,
gotta.
and figure it out.
So now, what do you think about? I'm a huge fan of the idea of the infinite game versus there. So again, little recovery chestnut where it's like it's a process, not an event. And so if you are able to learn to love the process, and the process actually sometimes contains days that you get your ass beat.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, not that I love those days, but I do know now that it's much easier for me to go like, okay, this day sucked. However, that goes in the column of dues paid, which also, to me, once I'm mindful of that, actually helps minimize any kind of imposter syndrome. It's like, oh, you think I've got like I'm a fake or whatever? It's like, dude, I got my ass kicked to get here.
So
Yeah.
here's
You
what's
didn't just
interesting.
arrive.
Right.
There's no overnight success.
No. But here's what I hear you saying that is like, your identity isn't wrapped up in winning. Your identity is, I'm someone that keeps going.
Yes.
I'm someone
the
that's
game.
I'm not proud of myself only when I win.
I would say
I'm
that
proud of
from
myself
knowing
for
you.
getting back
Oh,
up.
thank you.
Right? I'm proud of myself for putting the work in today. I'm proud of myself for like your identity isn't like I have to win or my whole identity is crashed. Your identity is like, I'm resourceful, I'm resilient, I get back up, I look for the best. It's like, and I think that's so huge because so many people, we've got our identity wrapped up in all this stuff out here.
Yeah.
Right? The win, the award, the trophy, whatever it is.
What other people see.
Yes.
And
the
what that
leaderboard,
makes
like
them
where
think.
am I at on the sheet?
Yeah.
Are you making? You're not making genuine contacts or genuine,
Right.
advocates,
Right.
within your office, or
Yep.
yeah. Nobody wants to be around that.
No.
And having support is huge. In
Huge.
But if you don't,
winning
what do you do?
season, in a winning season and in a challenging season, having that support to keep you grounded,
Yep.
so that you know which direction to
Like
go
a
next.
business coach.
Yeah.
like a
Yes.
business coach,
Yeah.
or a husband.
Well, and I think get
Or a
coach,
tribe.
get a coach,
tribe.
absolutely, and then get a tribe. I mean, I have 2 events I'm doing this week, and part of those is just like, let's get together with people that are going through it and let's have some conversations.
Yes.
But part of it's just like let's get together. But to your point, you just said like get a friend, whatever it is. Most people, and this is true for a lot of guys, most guys don't have one single person that another guy they can reach out to and go, today sucked. Like, I think I'm screwing up my
true.
marriage. I don't know how I'm going to pay the bills this next month. I'm addicted to this, whatever it is. Like, they don't have one person they can ever, they have 100 people they can call about the game, but they don't have one person be like, I really wanted to pick up the bottle today.
Yes.
I really didn't want to this, whatever that is, right? And one of the reasons why AA is so powerful is because they infuse, that's part of the DNA of it, is like, get your person, right? But I think you said, how do you do it? I remember years ago, I was getting off the road and I was like, man, I need some friends, which sounds kind of weird. But I was like, all my friends are all over the country and in this company. I'm about to leave the country, stay here, and I'm about to leave the company, right? So it was weird, but I'm a little weird, right? My son said when people ask me about his dad, he goes, he's weird. But I sat down and I wrote out a missing description of my best friend.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I love that.
And I was like, he lives here. He's got kids. He loves Jesus. He loves doing stuff outside. And I wrote down this whole list, and it was so interesting that within a month, that Tyler Richardson, that dude showed up in my life.
That's
and I get
awesome.
emotional thinking about it.
Sure.
But because his impact has been so huge for me. But it started off with like, I need to get clear on who I want, and then I need to be the best friend that I would want. And you better do it before you need it.
Yeah.
Yeah, dig the well before you're thirsty.
Yeah.
You're
that.
manifesting something, but
Yeah.
it's not out of the ether.
Well, it's
You
not
are
it's not ego
putting
based
it out.
either.
No, no. And I've heard of men and women early on doing that about their spouse. This is what
Yes.
I'm looking for.
Well-
Now, it could be dangerous. Like you might never find that person.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
But you know.
Or you could be like me, just wing it.
Yes.
well, and then what happens?
You have ex-wives.
Oh, okay. Well,
Well, just
I
two.
like that.
But that's how you learn about consequence.
There you go. Hey, the best advice, I get this question all the time. People are like, how do I meet the perfect girl? Because I did.
Me
but
too.
now, finally.
Oh, good.
But here's how you
got
do
that
that.
in there.
So when I'll have they're like, how do I find the perfect girl? I'm like, cool. Write down who you want. And they're like, oh man, she's this and she's this and she's this and whatever. And I'm like, cool.
She's a 10 and everything.
Who would she be attracted to?
I don't know that guy.
What am I?
Who would she want to be with? And it's like, it ain't you, right? Like, at least now, you know what I mean? Like, you probably need to do some sit-ups, right? You probably, like, whatever's, but like, who would she actually be attracted to? And then spend all your focus now on going to become the person that person would want to be.
Is that when the gauges came out of the ears?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, that
that
reel was fire, dude.
Oh my! I don't know where they found that stuff. By the way, we need to have a
haven't
call
seen
with
it.
my content team. They do
I'll
these
have
things.
to forward it to you guys because it was like history of Wayne.
Love
And
it.
it's like, dude, there was some new metal '90s action in
Just
there.
put the post in the comments on all
Roger that.
platforms.
Okay, so as we're winding it down, and thank you guys for it. Look how much we were able to pivot and be flexible
this.
and bring the heat, and we crossed the streams. It's
I'm
like,
so fired up.
Yeah.
For Women's Wednesday.
Yes.
We're winning. We
Yes.
are winning
We are
today.
winning.
Yes.
Yes. So what's everybody got going on? You said you got like you got an event or two, or
We got some really cool events. So
Okay.
Monday, Tuesday, we got coaches and leadership training in Dallas, which is going to be amazing. And I actually do have one spot because Betty is not able to make it. So I got one spot, and if somebody wants to come join us.
Who wants Betty's spot?
2 days to
Sorry, Betty.
amazing. And then I have a secret event on Wednesday. And then Thursday, flying to Florida for a mastermind. And then Friday, I'm actually doing a call with NAR to talk about
Awesome.
mental health and to talk about how to help agents through all we're going
Yes.
through.
That's
So
incredible.
that'll be fun.
right on?
That's incredible.
Yeah. Mental
So
health.
now are we saying that you won't be here on Friday, next Friday?
I get back Thursday night, and I will be here on Friday, I think.
Yeah.
Or I might not.
Or
It
let's
might
just-
just be.
We'll see it.
Let's call an AR.
Depends how good Friday goes. No,
We need to look at that
I'll be here.
schedule.
I'll be here, I think. No. Yeah.
Cool. How about you guys? What do we got?
I got a great listing coming up in Midlothian, and I have an exciting new program that Alan actually helped me develop where I am doing a 30-minute coaching call, and you walk away with action steps and a follow-up. So,
Let me hold on. It's called a strategy session.
sorry.
It's 30 minutes with a 10-day follow-up.
Thank
Set
you.
10-day goals with 2 action steps to implement into your business, and then we discuss after 10 days.
Who's we?
So it's the Ignite.
The
United.
royal we. The royal we.
I'm just saying it's your strategy session, really, is what it is, and it's virtual,
It is virtual.
$39.99, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You said
Or we
it.
can charge you double if you want. You know, hey. But
We'll put the tip jar out, too.
I can't tell you how valuable that actually will be. 10-day goals. You say you
Love
got
short-term
agents saying they
goals.
don't know what to do
Yeah,
next.
yeah.
I mean, what are you going to do for the next 10 days?
Right.
At least
At
just
least get
start
that, yeah.
that. So,
I like that.
so I think that if you want to sign up for that, you can do that through our social media. Through
awesome.
we also have a newsletter that we send out, and yeah. So
Hold
what
on.
else?
Well, since you said all about my stuff, somebody has an amazing art show coming up on May 9th. The
so
other
that's
art
another.
fair.
It's a big passion of mine. I've always wanted to be an artist, and so I've pivoted through COVID and through all of that to now. I love painting. I love drawing, painting, visual arts like that. So yes, the other art fair Dallas is coming up in 2 weeks, and it's about 120 artists. It's at Market Hall. It's kind of a high-end deal.
Very
that,
fancy.
Right on.
I did it last year. I've learned so much since then.
Is it all day kind of thing? Or what?
It's 4 days.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, will you put it in there? I'm going to come on my
Yeah.
way.
Yeah,
I'm flying
I've-
to Canada on the 9th, which I think means I won't be here on the 10th.
So it's like a Thursday,
Just a
Friday,
heads up.
Saturday, Sunday.
But yeah, I'll come on the way to the airport. That'd be awesome.
And Mother's Day, y'all,
It's Mother's Day
Sunday,
weekend, so come by a painting.
Y'all could,
There you go.
bring your mom by, buy some of my weird art, and then we'll go. So I love abstract impressionism and
Right
you
on.
know,
It's
all
awesome.
Yeah,
the
we'll link
bright
to all
colors.
that. We'll throw all.
Okay.
I love it.
We will be
Promotion.
linking everybody. Yes.
And I think our time is up, but we could all
Yes.
talk for days.
Yeah, clearly we don't have a problem with.
None.
Maybe
yeah.
we need to have volume 2.
Well,
Yeah, and there was no dead air, so appreciate
dead
that.
air.
Yes, yes, and I think we covered all the bases. And again, thanks everybody for being malleable.
Dude, thank you for doing this.
This was
absolutely.
great.
It's an honor.
So fun. So fun.
Absolutely. All right,
Thanks
Peter,
for-
take us
grateful.
out.
Bye-bye.